Welcome to the crew of Plan C. We're a father and a son who sold everything to explore the world on our sailboat. We've been living and traveling around the islands in the Bahamas for the past 3 months, but now we're heading back to the U.S. to make some necessary repairs. But before we leave for good, we're wanting to make one final dive into the crystal clear waters of the Bahamas. We've been staying off the coast of Nassau for the past few weeks now, so we didn't have too far to go to find a really good place to dive.
All right, Tanner and I are going to do a little scuba dive since we're going to be leaving the Bahamas in a few days. The weather's kind of nice today, so while all my friends back home are dealing with ice and snow, we're going to be scuba diving. Sorry. All right, so we'll take the GoPro with us in case we see anything cool, but pretty much this is going to be a shallow dive, and we're just hoping to find some cool stuff. So.
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
One of the most exhilarating experiences of scuba diving is that initial 5 seconds when you transition from the world above the water into the undersea world. Taking that leap of faith into the cold sea and not knowing what creatures or dangers lie below will really get your blood pumping. Fairly early in the dive, Tanner was trying to communicate a gear malfunction, which was causing his BCD to slowly inflate and lose air out of his tank. Normally, when we have an equipment issue, we would immediately end the dive and go back to the boat. However, because we're in shallow water, there's no current, we decided it'd be safe to continue and just monitor our air frequently. When you're snorkeling or diving in shallow water, you really have to stay aware of other boats, as this long trench you see was caused by a large vessel's keel plowing the bottom of the seabed. As we approached the shore, I noticed a spotted eagle ray off to our left, and like a giddy schoolboy, I shouted to Tanner so he could take a look at this majestic creature gliding through the crystal clear waters of the Bahamas. All right, that was my best David Attenborough impersonation. It was becoming apparent that our dive had to end prematurely, as Tanner kept having equipment issues and was consistently losing air.
Gotta go back to the boat. This thing keeps filling back up with air, and I'm almost out. Okay, let's go. It's not me using air.
As we were preparing to end our dive, Tanner took an opportunity to do a last-minute check of the hull, rudder, and propeller. That way we had visual confirmation that we had no issues before we started our long trek back home to Florida. You also realize real quick the importance of staying in shape as we get older. When you have to climb up a ladder with full scuba kit on your back, it is not easy.
All right, Tanner, how was that?
Many equipment malfunctions, specifically mine. A lot of air was leaking into the BCD, causing it to constantly inflate over a couple of minutes. And then I was immediately rising again, and I lost a bunch of air, back down to 1,000 PSI in maybe like 30 minutes, which is not good at all. But we found a few little baby conchs, but nothing that we can really keep that's worthwhile to eat. So we did see a cool manta ray though.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I think technically it was a spotted cow ray, but...
All right, buddy. I'm no marine biologist, but...
I don't even know if that's what it was. We'll check it. Have to check it. But that thing was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was a little chilly at first.
Warmer than Virginia, for sure.
Yeah.
But still a little chilly.
All right. We did it, though.
I'm going to rot inside now and watch TV.
Sounds good.
For our last night in the Bahamas, I cooked a big pot of spaghetti and homemade meatballs. We ate our last meal, we watched the sunset, and we were filled with a mix of emotions. We were excited to get back to Florida, but also sad to leave these beautiful islands behind.
When the 22-year-old son is telling you this is a bad idea, you listen.
All right, so it is first light here in Nassau, Bahamas, and Tanner and I are getting ready to head north, about 8 hours north to the Berry Islands. That's the first leg of our journey back to Florida. So hopefully the seas won't be too rough. The wind seems to be nice today, so anyway, wish us luck. All right, I'm gonna spin the camera around and show you what our chart plotter looks like and what we're using to navigate. All right, you can see we have our charts here. We're going through a little skinny section here. This is our engine instruments with hours, oil pressure, temperature, alternator output. You can see all that neat stuff. And then up here, Tanner pulled up the tide chart. So it's almost low tide as well. So that's why we need to pay attention when we're heading through this skinny section. Well, my hopes for a smooth ride to the Berry Islands are being quickly taken away as I see the waves crashing over the top of the island. Whoa! So it's gonna be a rough ride. The wind is in our favor. We got a good angle of sail, but we definitely have some good-sized swells coming through. But it shouldn't be too bad of a trip, actually. All right, Tanner, what's our speed?
Producing roughly on average around 6 knots, maybe 6.1. Our time went from getting there at 3 o'clock to getting there about 1 o'clock, which is good news for us. We'll have the rest of the day to listen to podcasts or do whatever we need to do. But the sea state isn't horrible right now. It's just some very big, slow swells compared to back on shore, whereas cresting waves, the time will tell.
All right, so last week I gave you guys a tour of the boat and talked a little bit about the sails and the sheets and all the parts of the boat that we use when we're sailing. And today is a great opportunity to show you kind of some of those principles in action as we're sailing along here. All right, so right now the wind is coming from our starboard side from over here, and it's hitting us on the beam, or right about the mid side of the boat. So we're on a beam reach, and I'll show you kind of how we adjust the sails in order to make the best use of the wind. So really the goal when we're sailing, regardless of which direction the wind is hitting us, is to keep the sails kind of facing the same direction as the wind. So if we turn the boat, we have to adjust this boom right here in order to kind of adjust the angle of the sail. So right now, I can kind of show you the main sheets, which are the control lines that control the boom. Kind of ease those out. You can see it's on a bit of an angle right now, and that's to take advantage of the wind hitting us from an angle, so we get the best forward momentum out of that wind. We've also got the sheets or the control line off of the head sail here, kind of eased out, so the sail is really kind of stretched out over the side of the boat. And that's because, again, the wind's hitting us from the side, so that gives us a lot of forward momentum. If we were pointing a little more towards the wind, what we would do is just tighten those lines up, tighten those sheets up, and get the sails closer to the center of the boat, and essentially basically following the direction of the wind, regardless of which way we turn. I can also kind of show you up here at the front. This is that furling drum that I was telling you about right here. So when the sail's pulled out, it automatically rolls that line up into the drum. And when we're ready to put the sail away from the cockpit, I can grab this line right here and pull it, and it'll start to wind the sail back up. So we're really grateful today. We have perfect wind for sailing. This boat does great. It's about 12 knots of wind off of our starboard side. So again, we're on a starboard tack, and the boat's moving right along at about 6 to 7 knots. All right, we are officially halfway to the Berry Islands from Nassau. We've gone about 17.5 miles, Tanner.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can see Nassau behind us here in the distance. Maybe not on camera, but we can still see the tops of the buildings of some of the big hotels, but we can't see the Berry Islands yet. And we're in about 9,000 feet of water. It's a nice deep spot in the ocean. The wind, again, is cooperating really well with us for us today. And we're making good time. What time should we be there?
1:30.
So we were thinking maybe getting there by 3 p.m., but with our current speed, we're more likely going to get there around 1:30 this afternoon. All right, well, we have reached our checkpoint here at the Berry Islands behind me, and we have decided to keep pushing forward. The wind is favorable, and the sea is nice, so we're making good time. And it's a long trip from the Berry Islands all the way to Bimini, another 16 hours or so we're going to make up some of that time today while we still have daylight. We'll just pick a spot to anchor, on the way there. That way we don't have quite as far to go tomorrow. So we didn't get to see the Berry Islands other than just passing by, but again, we're taking advantage of the good weather, and you can see we're moving really nice under sail. We haven't had to run the motors at all today. We've been moving along at a good clip, and yeah, it's been a good day. All right, we have been sailing for almost 12 hours now. We left at 6:45 and it's about 6:15 in the evening. And we just got really good wind today. We were gonna stop in the Berry Islands and hunker down for the night and then reach out or head back out in the morning. We decided to keep moving forward, keep moving kind of northwest towards home. And we've made good time. So eventually when it gets dark here, we're gonna have to pick a spot to anchor from the Berry Islands. From much of the Berry Islands, we were in 8 to 10,000 feet of water. Right now, it dropped to about 8 to 20 feet of water. So this is a big shelf all the way to Bimini, where it's fairly shallow water, so we can safely anchor pretty much anywhere out here. So anyway, just wanted to update you.
Well, it is morning time, first light on day 2 of our travel from Nassau back to Florida, and I just wanted to see if I can pan around. It's such a beautiful morning. Not really a lot of wind for sailing today, but man, I woke up to just such a beautiful spot. There's no land in sight, and the sea is calm, and it's so strange because we're anchored here in about 15 feet of water. It's a shelf for as far as the eye can see, 15 to 20 feet. So we're out in the middle of the ocean, but it's shallow. It's just a strange feeling, but very beautiful.
All right, as you can see, the weather is actually really nice today, very mild, another beautiful day. So we got a little bit of wind, and we're going to take advantage of that by probably motor sailing across the Gulf. So another beautiful day out here.
Our short visit to Bimini was actually pretty cool. We met some nice folks, got water, and then went to the customs office to check out. Since this was our first time in the Bahamas, I used ChatGPT to see if we needed to check out with customs before we left. Chat gave us a stern warning and said we definitely needed to check out or we could be fined or detained when we return. Well, as soon as I got to the customs office, they promptly told me that if my boat was a U.S. registered vessel, we could just leave and didn't need to do anything. Thanks, Chat.
It's one goofy ass submarine, I'll tell you that.
So the chances of getting hit by a big freighter out here are low, but they're not zero.
About halfway across the Gulf, we were intercepted by the U.S. Coast Guard. They pulled up alongside us and made contact on Channel 16. After they took our information and ran it through their database, within about 15 minutes, we were once again on our way home. And as a side note, they were extremely professional, and we are grateful for the job they do. Not long after the Coast Guard cutter departed, we could start to see the coast of Florida appear in the distance. What a welcome sight. We traveled north until we ran out of daylight, and we ended up sliding into the Hillsborough Inlet on the Florida coast, which was just north of Pompano Beach. We were both weary from a full day of travel, and that lighthouse was a welcome sight.
Last night we slid into this little inlet called Hillsborough Inlet and spent the night after coming across from Bimini, and it's actually a pretty nice, peaceful little spot. All right, not sure if you can see it or not, but we were sailing north along the coast about 3 nautical miles offshore, and I noticed as the wind started to die down, there were white caps on one side of the boat and not the other. And I looked at it, you could see it. You could see a definite line between, you know, where the wind was white capping and where it wasn't. And then I realized that's the Gulf Stream current. The current's moving north, so of course it's hitting the wind a little different. So we just moved into the current, into the Gulf Stream. It was only like 50 yards to our starboard side. Once we moved in here, we're making another knot of headwind. So anyway, kind of cool. Slack, bring it on in. Little bonita, I think. Atlantic bonita. All right, nice, pretty. All right, we made it. Port St. Lucie Inlet, Jensen Beach, Florida. Yeah. It's been 4 days of travel to get here, so glad
Good to be back.
Yeah, man. It's been what, almost 3 months since we left.
A little over.
All right, the end of a 4-day journey, everybody's tired, so I've given Tanner the task of piloting the boat up to the mooring ball for it'll be his first time.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Feeling great. Ready to attack the mooring ball with violence and intensity.
Perfect.
Let's get this done. Let's get to shore and grab some grub and a drink.
Sounds good, man.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
it. Pretty calm night, all things considered. After the 4-day sail, almost sinking, running out of water, our water pumps failing, just being kind of seasick, tired. It wasn't a horrible journey. We're almost at the end now. We just gotta moor this thing, and then we're home free. Do I need to go left or right? I am. I can't see the ball. Closer? To the right? All right. Nice. Well executed on both parties. Good?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the dinghy that refused to die. It is still in service. We are going to replace it, but all those goofy patches on the front of it actually work, and we are taking it to shore. Beautiful evening to end our long journey back home, and feels good to be back. I just don't hate Florida.